Hi guys, and welcome back to another video tutorial here at ReichelProductions. Today we're just going to be making a burglar bar, which I promised I would show you how to do. That was in the series Volumetric Light through a window, where we were putting a burglar bar in front of the window. So let's get to it. I'm going to just delete the default cube, and I'm going to add what is called a Bezier curve. Right. You can use Shift A to bring up your normal objects that you want to add, or you can go into your tabs here and click Create, and you'll see Mesh and Curve. Now under Curve here you'll see Curve. Right, so click on that and that will give you a Bezier curve. Now the way to work on the settings for that, if you press Tab, you'll notice you get this sort of fishbone, which isn't much help because we can't really see what's going on. Okay, so we go to our properties, and you'll notice now that there's a Bezier curve property. Click on that and then go down to depth. Alright, and what we're going to do is we're just going to set this to 0.1, and that gives us a half tube, square tube, half of it. So we want a full square tube, so we click full, and there you go. Now in metalwork, welding and so on, if you want to make a gate and that type of thing, you get square tubing obviously. In this case we don't want it square, I just want it round, so I'm going to go one below to resolution there and just set that to about 2, so that'll give me a round tube. Okay. Now, you know, it's a pipe, in other words. Normally the burglar bar is solid, so we will just fill the edges of that tube later, but that's the basic shape we need. Alright, so let's go back into top view, and I'm just going to press T to get rid of my tabs there, and now we can see what we're doing. Alright. Just to give you a bit of understanding as to how you work with Bezier curves, if I want to make this tube straight, I can press R and rotate it. Okay, so it's more or less there. That's while the middle vertex is selected. I can also grab this vertex and pull it, pressing G and moving the mouse. Same story here, you know, but I normally would select the middle one, and then I would press R, and because we're in top view, I'm going to rotate this around the Z axis 45 degrees, but I'm going to rotate it clockwise. So when we're rotating clockwise from the top view, we have to add minus, so I enter minus 45 and press enter. Okay, so that's how that works. If I rotate this now back to where it was, I would press R, Z, and 45, so it would be anti-clockwise, no minus in front, but that's how that works. Okay, now what we need to do next is give this bar a longer dimension, because right now the tube is a little bit short. So let's do that. We'll say S and X, and we'll scale it to about, let's say, to about there. Okay. Let's scale a little more. Scale along X. Yeah. Okay. What I need to do next is duplicate these bars, and press Shift D, grab along Y and bring it down to, let's say, down to there. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, Shift D, grab along, press G, grab along Y, pressing Y, and I think it's there, is it? Right, now if we go into N, we can see where we are. Y, along the y-axis we're at 5.9, so that should be 6, and this one here is going to also be at minus 6. Alright, so that's evenly spaced. Right, now I want to duplicate this to put a bar along the vertical. So I'm going to duplicate this, Shift D. I'm going to press R, and I'm going to rotate it around the Z axis by 90 degrees. Okay. Right, then I'm going to duplicate that again. I'm going to press Shift D, and I'm going to grab along the X axis. I'm going to place it to about there, which is where's this position? 4. We'll make it 4, and then this here will be -4. Shift D, pressing G, X, minus, enter minus, and 4. Alright, so that's in the position where it needs to be, -4 along the X axis. Okay, it's very good practice to use the location settings to enter the positions so that you've got it exactly in place, especially when you're working with the physics engine. Sometimes you'll find that the object is 4.0001, and that can make a huge difference with your simulations and so on. But anyway, besides that, let's just stick with this, and I'm going to now do the curly bits. Okay, so we normally have these curly bars or decorative bars that are added here, which are curved around on your burglar bar, and so let's do that. Right, now the temptation would be just to take this and duplicate it and then start manipulating this bar, but when you start doing that you get all sorts of funny deviations and so on, distortions with that bar, because we've worked with the scaling and stretched it out and so forth. So what we're going to do rather is just go into a new layer, and we're just going to add a Bezier curve. We can do it on the tabs as well, but I've pressed Shift A, and I've brought up the curve. I'm just going to do the normal settings here again, full 2D, depth of 0.1 and resolution 2. Okay, so we've got a nice tube again, and we can start manipulating the curves. Alright, in fact we can rotate this around the Z axis by 90, rotate it by pressing RZ minus 90. Okay, and we've already got some curvature going on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a circle here and a circle here, just to help me manipulate the curve. The circle I'm going to add, pressing T, is from the mesh, so not the curve, Bezier Curves. So it's one of these circles, and I'm going to scale it, bring it over here, right, and then what I'm going to do is select tab, and then I'm going to press E and scale. I'm extruding it inwards just to give it some thickness. I'll explain just now. The reason why is so that you can see what I'm doing, because sometimes the YouTube image is not too good. I'll just give it some contrast there. I've given it a yellow color, which is good on Blender render. In Blender Cycles you would have to be in render mode, okay, to see the color. So I'm just using that for now, and then I'm going to Shift D that circle there, duplicate it, and scale it down a little bit. We'll put that, say, over there somewhere. Okay, so what I want to do now is start manipulating this tubing. Okay, so if we select on the middle one there and we start bending it, we start getting some curvature around there. Now, how do we get some more bar or tubing? We just press E to extrude, and we pull it out. Don't panic when you have that strange thing happening. You just need to pull it out with the mouse, and then rotating this and grabbing this, rotating it. So I press R again, rotate, grab by pressing G, okay, and then I rotate again and pressing G. Right, now we can rotate this a little bit more, and what we need to do now is add a little bit more control over this here. So while you've selected the middle vertex, you press the other one, holding shift, press the other middle one, and then W to subdivide. So now you get one in between, halfway through there, halfway along, and you can now rotate and grab. That's grabbing, this is R, rotating, and then bring it into there and grab it there, and we can now rotate this again, pressing G. Alright, so you get the idea, hopefully. Takes a little practice, pressing R and rotating it. I'm not having to press Z because I'm only working along the X plane in the 2D mode, remember. So I just press R once and then rotate each time. Okay, just press R, rotate, and then grab a little bit. Okay, that's good. Now I don't want the this curly bit to be so close to here. So do I scale it? Nope, I don't. What I need to do is just again select that vertex, holding shift, select the middle one as well of that one, and then press W, subdivide, so we get an extra one. And then what I can do is just delete that vertex. Okay, simple. Alright, now I can see that this needs to be much longer, so I need to bring this circle down here obviously and scale that up a bit. This just gives me some sort of idea as to how I'm bending that curve, and you know, you could obviously probably do it with just using your eye. I just thought we'll use this method. Okay, so let's just grab that one there. I pressed extrude, by the way. Then let's just go down here. Pressing this middle vertex, I'm going to rotate again, grab, so stretch it out a little bit, and I'm going to bring this circle, say, to about there. Scale it up a bit. And rotate that, grab it. I just also want to rotate this one a little bit to give it that S shape. Alright, so you can kind of see where this is going. It's a lot of fiddling and so on, just freehand stuff really. Alright, so now we've got that curvature there. Now we can extrude, pressing E, grab it so it comes out, and rotate, and then grab some more, and we just sort of stretch this up here. Select on this one again. Oops, escape when you have a problem. Okay, what I want to do is just again subdivide that so I've got more control. Just that one there, W, subdivide. Okay, this one here now I can delete and rotate this and grab it and so on. Takes a bit of practice, as I said. Alright, that's more or less what I want. Okay, let me just rotate this a little bit more, grab it there, grab this one out a little bit and rotate it. You know, we can add some more, we can subdivide and get that looking more accurate. Let's just do that rather. W, subdivide, and let's do another one over here as well. Might as well do this properly. W, subdivide, It's fine. Okay, so there's our curly bit, and we're going to you can delete these circles obviously, or keep them if you want to use that, but we're going to just be using the curly bit. And again, let's go into move that into the first layer, and going to the first layer there's our curly bit, and just rotate it and grab. Now you'll notice that the one part there, let's say we wanted it a little bit smaller, we could just go box select and scale, because that's generally how these look often. Okay, and we can then attach it. We're going to convert this to a mesh, so we just go to Object, Convert, Mesh from Curve. Okay, go into tab mode. Right, and then what we're going to do is edge select that. Press Alt, holding Alt down, and click on the one of the vertices, and we select that whole ring there of vertices, and then we just simply press F to fill that. And then we'll do the same over here. Let's go into that quickly, holding Alt down, and then F again. Alright, so now they are the ends are closed. Right, now I can just duplicate that. Grab X, rotate along Y 180, grab it, just plonk it on there. Now select those two by pressing Shift and clicking on the next one there. Shift D to duplicate, grab along Y to bring it down. Up. That's fine. Alright, that's it guys, and now we just need to give it a material. I'm going to go into cycles, and we're just going to go into node editor there, and let's just see what our camera sees. That's fine. I'm going to go here and just give us a 3D view of the render view. And right, so let's just go into the materials, and we're going to give it a black material. Just make it slightly less black maybe. And then going into our node editor here, I'm just going to add pressing Shift a mix shader, bringing it down, and then I'm going to Shift A to bring up another one, shader, and that's going to be glossy. I'm going to pop that in there. Okay, so we get a view of that, and we don't want so much gloss. I'm just going to bring that down to about that. Yeah, that should be fine. What we need to do is convert these curves to meshes as well. So I'm just going to quickly select all of those, and then I'm going to go Object, Convert to Mesh from Curve. Alright, so now we have these as meshes. Go in there, right? And we're going to say A. Now what we're going to do is join them all. Alright, everything becomes black, all takes on the material. Now what I'm going to do is make sure that this is selected as such, so that when I box select B and say F to fill, all those ends will be selected there. And let's just make sure, yes, that's correct. Right, that's filled, and that one is not, yes. Okay, so we're just going to go B and say fill, A select, B, fill. Alright, and I'll carry on with that. Okay, guys, that's about it. If you have any questions, let me know. This was a little bit of a different tutorial to volumetric lighting, which everybody is very excited about at the moment, but if we can't remember how to model anymore, then volumetric lighting won't be of much use, will it? Alright guys, and thanks so much for subscribing, and we'll see you next time.